the kind of thing MTN
Oh
has.
yes, I remember
Yeah,
that
so I just do star 7 something, it opens and pops out, and I ask. And said
one.
it was just for the fun of it, right? It was
Yeah.
just for Charlie. I've been able to create something for MTN. I can go and show it to them.
Just cash out.
Full cash.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about our journey as software engineers. I'm here with Coding Rev, and I'm Joshua. You can call me Dev Josh. Yeah. So today we are going to talk a lot about and how things has been evolving since day one as software engineers. So yeah, it's also
Charlie, I do.
yeah.
What they
Today
go?
you make fresh and things.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Charlie. So I've been with Coding Ref since college, from year one to year four. We're all computer engineers from day one. It was tough.
Charlie.
I mean, we have to go through a lot of things, getting to understand all the basics and everything that we know now. Yeah, so I won't bore you with a lot of thoughts in this introduction. I'm just going to leave a lot of things to Emmanuel by questioning him and asking him some few questions here, which is going to give you insights and more detailed answers for you to know how we came up and we came about with all these things that we are doing now. Follow along and let's keep the flow going. Yeah. So Charlie, give us something small about what has been going on for the past 5 years.
So I think roughly it's been like 6 years now, roughly.
6 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
since we
Wow.
professionally started working or started, playing with this software engineering thing. Yeah,
Mm.
it's been 6 years. Yeah, so actually we had some fair idea, right? And we're learning these things, I think, from senior high school through to junior high school. And personally, I was more like an ICT guy, like an IT enthusiast. Okay, yeah.
Mm.
So I was like, I was the fastest typist, yeah, during my time junior high school. So, I thought I was all about computers, but I didn't really wanted to have my career in software engineering or computer or any IT. I just wanted to go into the medical field, right? Because I didn't know anything about software, anything about IT, anything about, how these advanced things I know now was those days. Yeah, but these days, I mean, the Indomie generation, they are so privileged to hear about software engineering, programming, coding, algorithms at a very early stage.
Mm.
So I have a nephew, right? And I think they just had a BC like weeks ago, right? So I was just going through their ICT, one of the ICT textbooks, and I saw algorithm, I saw sensors. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Charlie, our time was creating folders, renaming files, shortcuts, then things of ahead. So, I mean, this generation is so privileged to get to know about software, get to know about programming at a very early stage, unlike our stages. Yeah, so I think that's a little context I can give, and then we get to Josh. Josh will get to.
Yeah. So just to rewind with you a bit, as I said,
Mm-hmm.
we all started from college, right? We didn't get a privilege to have all these insights like how this generation is getting from basic schools. Yeah. So we started in college, and the grinding paid off. For the first part of our first year, we have to do a lot of sleepless nights learning programming, and we started with I think C plus plus. That's great, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. I want to ask this. Honestly, I don't recall when. I think you got your first role before I did, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I did.
So
I did.
can you give us any insights about how it all started with getting your first role as an engineer? I mean, you were just doing some algorithm just for fun, and out of nowhere, you realize you can get some money out of this. So, can you give us more insight about how you found out about these things and how you started getting jobs and all of that?
Okay, so before I start with this, right,
Mhm.
I want to give, let's say, an advice to beginners, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so this is what I mostly tell people I mentor, right? So
Mhm.
I've mentored lots of software engineers and they are doing pretty well. Like,
I
yeah,
see. That's
you know
also
some many of them. Sure. So,
that's also.
one advice I really give them is like during our time, it wasn't about the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about the money. It was about I can do this, right? This is awesome. It's very nice to create a website. I think those days when I started with C++, that was my first programming language, and I was, just playing along with it.
Mm.
I was just happy to create a console application to perform this USSD kind of thing MTN
Oh
has.
yes, yes, I remember that
Yeah,
one. I
so
remember that one.
I just do star seven something something. It opens, it pops out, and I ask
Exactly.
transfer money, cash out, press for those basic things, and
Yeah,
it was just for the fun of it, right? It was
exactly.
just for Charlie. I've been able to create something for MT, and I can go and show it to them.
Today cash out.
Full cash out. Yeah,
I
so
see.
it was mostly, or it was like the sole goal was about being able to do something, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so and like I gave like context that we didn't know about these things. Personally, I didn't know about software engineering. I think my first time hearing about like real software engineering, though I was doing some IT stuff way back in high school, JHS and stuff.
Mm.
But the time I really got to know about software engineering, website development, databases was I would say in my level 100, right?
Wow,
Yeah, in my
wow,
level 100. That's
wow.
somewhere around 2019, right? Yeah, early
Solid,
2019, sure.
solid.
So that's how I really got to know about like web development, databases, this. Though I had a fair idea about how computers work, those things, but I
Mm.
didn't really know. So my advice is, as a beginner or
Mm.
to anybody who is starting his software engineering career, right, you have to actually do it for the love of the game.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. To add up to that,
Mm-hmm.
in every niche, right, the
Mm-hmm.
interest comes first. If you are able to get interest in whatever you are doing, you're able to push harder. And if you are self-motivated, definitely you have it right there. That's a bonus and a plus. Yeah, I remember the first time we saw someone did a website was we paid a visit to one senior student in
Mm-hmm.
college, and we saw such an amazing website that was built by himself. That was the first time personally I saw someone building a website, and that's actually motivated me to like, okay, if someone can do it, you can do it, right? But
Mm-hmm.
before that, we were just coding just for fun. I mean, we create stuff, we have fun with it. That oh, I've been able to do this, I've been able to do that, and all of that. But right after that, we realize no, there are some things we can push to production for people to use. I mean, we are not just building to have them on our PCs or our phones to just use it for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We can do stuff that can, I mean, expand for people to explore and use it. So yeah, to move forward, yeah, tell us about how you landed your first job. Yeah,
Okay,
as
so
someone you don't have any experience, you don't have any experience with any company, you were just coding, right? How did you land your first job?
that's a very good topic for us to discuss. How did I do that?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think I landed my first job, I think late 2019 or early 2020. I don't really recall, but it was during that era, right?
Mm.
Yeah, so how did I even like how did they even come up? Like how did I even think of applying to a company? Because like Charlie, you just started a thing you're doing for the love of the game or something. And
Yes.
wait, nobody should get me wrong, right? The fact that I said you are doing it for the love of the game doesn't mean I'm trashing the concept of doing it for money.
For money,
Nah,
exactly.
Charlie. Right, do it a city anyway. Right, Charlie, come back though. So
Yeah,
yeah, the money deal one side, but the thing is, I would say it takes a lot of consistency, perseverance, right? So if you do not have like a very keen interest in it, you just
exactly.
empha, empha. That be a short thing. So just get the interest first and start. So how did I land my first job? Um, it was I think I saw their flyer right
Okay.
about looking for a software engineer, Python, Django,
Mm.
and that was these were the stacks I was working with right
I
at my
remember.
early stages. Yeah, they were the stacks I was working with. I think after C++,
Mm.
I did Python, and then worked with Django for a while. Yeah, and then at that time too, I had created many hobby projects,
Yeah.
some e-commerce, a lot of mini projects just for fun, right? It wasn't for any real client. So when I saw the advertisement, I was like, wait, are they looking for the Django? Is it the Django I'm doing, or is it Charlie? Are they doing a different Django, or is it the Django I know? Okay. And then one thing too, I think many beginners too can relate to this one. One advice I want to put out there, especially to beginners or people who just started learning how to code, is the the code you are writing, right? The if else, the loops you are writing, the Python you are learning from the YouTube videos you've been watching, from maybe class or anywhere, they are the same things you write in the industry, right? Because when I started, that was my perception. So I was like, wait, I don't think this company is writing a Django. Right? Maybe there's some premium, yeah, version of it. Yes, no if else,
Exactly.
no. Charlie, them they write some things the way I don't know. And then it wasn't my fault because sometimes you could take a glance at some code, yeah. Then we'll busy say it be Python. Actually, this you have a single like those days. Especially when you try to go into the source codes of this other languages like Python. But Charlie, some of the syntax you might even think that what are they writing?
Solid ones.
Yeah, so it wasn't my fault, and I'm just giving good advice to anybody or any software engineer who you think what you're doing now. I don't know how do I even say this. It's not an industry standard thing, right? Yeah, no.
It's nothing
Industries
like
do right.
medium, low, high, or anything like that.
Exactly.
To add on to that, right?
Okay.
I think how I landed my first job. I think you landed your first job before I did, right? But how I got to have mine was about my dummy projects, right? So without having any experience with any company, I had some experience with my dummy projects. So I had them on my CV that I built this, I built that. Even though they weren't anything big, right? They were just some to-do lists. I remember I had a to-do list, a weather app. My portfolio itself was a project for myself. Yeah. By the way, I'm actually specialized in front-end engineering, and I'm doing full stack as well. Just that I love front-end, right? So that was my first role.
I know.
Yeah, you know about that. Yeah, that was my
I know you
first.
love front engineering.
That was my first role. Then that's how I landed mine, right? So it's actually dynamic, right? Landed your first job is actually dynamic. Nowadays, people are able to land their jobs by referrals, by applying with their CV. That's when you have an experience with a different company and all that, right? But if you are now coming up, you have to focus, build some personal projects for yourself, not anything big or huge, right? Something that you to showcase your skills. That oh, you know this. Why do you say you have this? Then you show what you have. That this is what I've built with what I learned, right? So that's some ways that you can actually enter into the industry
Sure.
as a starter. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And also to continue with my story, right? I applied and I got it. Right? I
Of course, I remember
went
that.
through their interview
Yeah, and we went to
processes.
show when you had this.
Oh
It was a
yeah,
congratulations show.
Charlie. I won't disclose the amount. You'll be like, but Charlie, those days
Those
it was
days,
big
Charlie.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, but before, right, to also add up to what you were saying about building side projects to get the experience, it's about one thing. It's also like before landing that first job, right? That was I think where we started working for. I think Sapa started doing some
Sapa,
Sapa
yeah.
stuff.
That was in the early 2020.
Exactly. So if you want the experience, right? There are many I would say like side how do I even put this?
Let's put it offers. Like
Offers.
there are some opportunities that do not come with money.
Good.
Right. You just
Yes.
have to take it because
Exactly.
you don't have the experience. So you need someone to build you up. So you join
Exactly.
some startups, then just grow up there, improve your skills, the experience, and then you become big. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's it.
I think I'll put up, let me see the last question, but it may not be the last question. We were in school. We landed our first jobs in second year, right? That means we spent 3 years out of the 4 years working and learning. How are
Yeah.
you coping with that?
There's one of the most asked questions, especially when I'm having a job interview, right?
Yeah.
They really ask it like computer engineering, computer engineering plus working. how did you manage? But I think, ah, first of all, it was by the grace of God, and second, it was perseverance, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was discipline,
Exactly.
right? If you are disciplined enough, you can do many things, right? You can do many things at a time, things that people would think, no, Charlie, I can't add these things up. I'm doing this. I can't do this. Charlie, there's no, you can. Only have the interest, right? And you really want to do that, then you can. So how I was coping with it was, for computer engineering, I would say 50 is 50 a good percentage to divide them. I would say 40. So 40% was more of what I was doing, right? That's the software
The
part.
software.
And then 60% was the electrical part.
Yeah.
So I took that opportunity, or I took that 40% opportunity to, do the programming or work to cover the courses that are software related.
Related, yeah.
And then, Charlie, when it's getting dangerous, I just come to do the electrical, the 60% of
Exactly.
it. So,
You know,
and it
it's,
was working.
it's actually
It was.
common. It's actually common in knowledge that there are some sets of students who who do not learn until it's about a week or 2 weeks to exams, and that's what we're doing
Agenda boys.
because because we will be working
uh,
for money whilst learning, right? So you won't get time to actually learn what has been taught in class, right?
that's true.
So you only have to, go to class, familiarize yourself with what is going on, do some, classwork and all of that, right? So when it's about 2 weeks or a week to the exams, that's when you are like, oh, Charlie, I haven't learned anything.
Sure. Sure.
You're hoping to learn something.
Exactly.
You chase
Mhm.
your brilliant friend for him to teach you a lot of that.
And you must know yourself too.
Exactly.
You must really know
Yeah.
yourself.
If you
Because
can't do that, you should have to try.
exactly, I'm
Seriously.
someone personally I can work under pressure. I love it.
It's very
I
nice.
really, really love it. I love, but I no wait, don't get me wrong, right? I don't take it to my work, but I love, working under pressure. Charlie, we have 2 days, we have to build this thing. I just love those adventures. I love
Yeah.
doing something that after completing it or after.
Just to have it as part of your history that there was this thing we built. It's very huge, but you built it in, let's say, 48 hours.
And you'll be like, good.
It's something to boast of. I mean, this journey is fun to learn, build your skills and everything, but it's also fun to create some adventures, right? Something not impossible per se, but something that will amaze people hearing about the fact that you're able to achieve this thing. There was one time we built a whole IoT application just under 24 hours. You remember that? It was 12 hours. 12 hours rather. Yeah. It was a competition. We had the idea somewhere around like 11 p.m. to 12, right? One friend of us handled the electronics,
Yeah.
and you did the
I did a
the
software
integration and the
part. Yeah.
software. I came up with the UI and all of that, right? That was just under 12 hours, if I remember, because we started at 12 a.m., went to sleep at 4 a.m. Then, we freshened up and did some few testing around 6, 7 to the interview time, sorry, to the competition time. And that was, and
We won. Yeah, we won. It was a departmental hackathon.
hackathon,
And we won.
we won.
Yeah.
By the way, we've actually paid to contest in a lot of hackathons. Some we got a chance to win, some we had a second place.
Okay. So
Yeah.
a good advice is how, as a continuing student or as a student, and you are enthusiastic about software engineering, how you'll be able to like combine academics with it, right? You'll be advantaged if you are doing anything computer or IT related to at least take up some of the courses. Because if you are into software engineering and you are doing data structures, algorithms, web design, it wouldn't take your time to learn those things to get them. Your experience will talk for you. Then you spend, most of your time on, the other courses you think you are liking. So that's how you can blend it. But
I think doing stuff like computer science or IT,
IT,
you are good because
exactly.
the whole software engineering is what you are doing. But programs like computer engineering, electrical engineering, and the rest of the engineering courses, definitely is blended with some other aspects of engineering. So you have to, split your hours in percentages. Can give your programming skills hours for let's say you give a percentage of 40 to learning your programming skills, then 60 for academic work.
Exactly. So that's how it works. And also you have to find a mentor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've
Perfect.
mentored many people, roughly I would say more than 10, right?
Yeah.
And this is what I've learned, or this is what I've got to know about it. So if you are being mentored, you get to know much in the shortest possible time,
Very
right?
true.
So I know of many people, they'll come and be like, I've been learning Python for like a whole semester, for like a whole year, but I can't do
You can't
anything
do
with
anything.
it.
Yeah.
Because
I have another friend. We have a friend. He's a
your
woman.
friend, right? Shout outs to you, he himself. So
Yeah.
he always complains about JavaScript. He has been learning JavaScript, he has been learning this language, but I can't do anything with it.
This is
For like more
a
than
chronic,
2, 3 years.
some sort of a chronic issue because he has learned JavaScript for more than a year and a half. So let's say 2 years, but he can't do anything with JavaScript. I know this guy who has done Python for more than like a year, but can't do anything with Python. So even though if you know yourself that you are self-taught, you can learn and get up there, that's fine. But if you know you need someone to hold your hands and drag you through the direction and the roadmap, you need to take that
Exactly.
advantage.
Do whatever it takes to
Exactly.
get close to the person,
Yes.
learn much from the person. And by the way, we are open for mentorship, so
Yeah.
if you are interested, you can drop it in the comment section.
Exactly.
Really
We actually leave a link to join
Exactly.
our company's space. Yeah, that's very important. Yeah, so I think this will come about with the end of this video. It was fun and nice, sharing all these experiences.
Yeah.
We have more to talk about,
Exactly.
stuff relating to work, stuff relating to personal life. Yeah, how after school has been.
Sure.
I mean, we've been in Ghana, we've been having some tours around Africa. Yeah, all in the name of software engineering.
Exactly.
Because of
Fully
businesses and
sponsored
everything. Yeah.
conferences and all that. I mean, there are
So
lots of benefits.
a lot
We'll
of
talk about
things
them.
to
Yeah.
share, and we're happy to start in this video and this session. Yeah, even though we have the interview session that I promised to bring on board. Yeah, that's coming up. I'll be interviewing Emmanuel. I'll be interviewing some of our tech friends in Ghana, some in Germany, and some in Denmark and UK. Yeah, so that's the goal and the plan for this channel. Yeah, we would like you to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, see you soon.
Follow us for more. We love you.
Ciao.
We love you.